started to build homes, they started to build churches, farms, and they had their own business in North America. As we said before, that the kings and queens of Europe, they wanted North America to be part of Europe. Okay, so we said that the kings and queens of Europe, they wanted North America to be part of Europe. So that's why they started to send many families from Europe to settle in North America. They started with a small settlement, which we call a small community. And after this, this community started to be bigger and bigger, and we call it a colony. And a colony means a place that's ruled by another country. Who lives in a colony? We call him colonist. So the person who lives in a colony, we call him a colonist. Something else that we said, that the first country that started its colonies in North America was England. And I told you, please don't forget this name of this country. What was the first country that started to send families or to send people to live in North America? It was England during that time. And remember, I told you that in Jamestown, in the colony of Jamestown, men and boys worked hard to stay alive. But in Plymouth, we had the Wampanoag who met the Pilgrims, and they showed them how to farm, how to hunt animals, how to build homes, and etc. We have many colonies in North America in the past. After this, with our new lesson, he keeps telling us that more people from England, they started to come to settle in North America. خلاص, North America started to be part of Europe. We will live here. We will have our homes here. Our business will be here. Everything will be done here in North America. And we said, if you remember, the ones who attended the session with me yesterday, Esther, that people in North America, they have to follow the rules of, huh? Esther, do you know who gave rules to the people who lived in North America during that time? Huh? Who gave them rules?
Yes.
Who gave them rules?
Europe.
The king,
Europe.
yeah, the king of, or the king of
The king.
the King of England. Yani, we said all people in North America, they had to follow rules from the King of England. They had to follow the rules of the King of England, or it has another name, ruler of Great Britain. Okay, and if you don't want to say King of England, you can say ruler of Great Britain. Okay, because England has another name, which is Great Britain. Okay, so they had to follow rules from the King of England. People in North America, they had to follow rules from the King of England during that time. If you were an Englishman, or if you were an American Indian man or an American Indian woman, whoever lived in North America, they have to follow the rules from the King of England. They had to follow the rules from the King of England. Khadija, they had to follow the rules from, huh?
England.
They had to follow the rules from the King of England. They had to follow the rules from the King of England. No one was able to open his mouth. No one was able to open his mouth, because they wanted to live and they wanted to stay alive. Yes, they had to feel safe and they want to get money. So that's why they have to follow the rules from the King of England. My question will be for you, Darwin. Do you think that the colonists who lived in North America would agree to follow the rules from the King of England? Do you
Yeah.
think that they would agree, or it will stay for a long time?
If they agree, they'll stay alive. Because if we don't agree, the kings and queens will kill them.
Type, okay, if you were an American Indian
No,
or if you were a colonist, would you agree to follow the rules of the King of England or not? Do you want, yani, they, as if we can say that they are taking your country for them. They are dominating everything that's in your country, which is North America during that time. And it was not their country or continent during that time. Would you agree this for your country or not?
no,
You will not. Thank you.
no.
Thank you. Bye. Let me ask Karim. Karim, Karim,
Yes, miss.
Karim, if you were an American Indian and you were one of the colonists who lived in North America and you had to follow the rules from the King of England, would you agree or not agree to follow the rules of the King of England?
I will not agree.
You will not agree. Okay. Type. What will you do? What would you do? How will you act against England and against the King of England rules? He was not unfair to the colonists. He gave them rules. He didn't give them enough money. He wanted all the gold and other riches from North America to be for Europe. As an American Indian, you said that you will not agree because you will feel jealous for your country or for your continent. You want it for yourself. What will you do? What will the first action that you will take to show your anger? What will you ask for? If you saw the King of England during that time in front of your eyes, what would you ask him? Yes, imagine. Imagine I'll be the King of England and I'm taking everything from your country, from your continent. What would you ask me for? Hmm? Will you ask me to be free or you will ask me to continue giving you rules?
I will ask you to be free.
To be free, right? Will you ask me to leave North America
Yes.
for yourselves and for your people, or you will ask him to take North America to be part of Europe? Hmm?
I will ask him to leave.
To free your country, right? To free your country and the people who live in your country, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay, so this what the colonists and the American people and the English people during that time who lived in North America, they wanted independence. They wanted freedom from Great Britain. They wanted to be free from England. We don't want to follow the rules of the King of England. We want independence. We want freedom. We want to live freely in our country. So that's what the colonists asked for. They asked for independence. What's the meaning of independence? They asked for freedom. Grade 2. Can you repeat after me the meaning of independence? Freedom. Independence. Freedom. Independence. Freedom. Excellent. So the colonists, they wanted independence. We want to be free. We don't want to follow your rules. No, we want someone who was American to give us rules, someone from our country, from our continent. We don't want to follow the rules from the kings and the queens of England or Europe. We are American. We are not English. Okay, so they asked for independence. What's the meaning of independence? Freedom. Again, independence, freedom. Independence, freedom. Yasin, what's the meaning of independence?
Freedom.
Freedom. Thank you so much. So they asked for independence. They asked for freedom. Okay, let me ask you, if you were American Indians, okay, and you want independence from the King of England, from the kings and queens of Europe, what will you do? If you know, raise your hands. Class, we want independence. So what are the actions that you will take to get the independence or the freedoms that you want? If you know, please turn on your camera, of course, and tell me what will you do? Huh? What will you do? How will you show your anger? How will you show that you don't agree or you don't accept their rules? Okay, Lena? Huh? Lena, what would you do? What would you do, Lena, if you were an American Indian and you want the freedom?
Can you say?
Huh?
Can you say it again because I didn't hear you?
Okay, Lena, if you were American Indians,
Can you say it again because I
I'm
didn't?
saying it, Habibti, right now. If you were an American Indian and you want...
Oh, yeah, I'm hearing you.
But I can hear you, Lena. Can you hear me right now?
No, because sometimes, yeah, I hear you some. No, because sometimes it's cut.
Now, how will you
But
ask
now
for...
I can hear you.
Okay, how will you ask for freedom? What will you do? Will you sit at home and the independence will come to you? How will you... What will you do?
I will do.
Yeah. Huh? What would you do? If you want independence from England, what will you do? Let's ask Mayan. Mayan. Mayan?
Yes.
Mayan, if you were an American Indian, and you want freedom, you want independence, what will you do?
I do not
Of course you
go
will,
in
of course, yeah,
the.
Mayan, first you will not sleep like this, because sleeping like this will not bring you independence or freedom. So you should sit properly first. Sit down properly first, yeah, Mayan. Mayan, sit down properly first. Okay, now tell me, how will you get independence from England? How will you be free from England? Will you sit at home and drink tea and you will say you will say yes for everything, or what will you do? Will you say no or you will keep saying yes? Hmm? Will you say yes for everything that they will do for you, or you will stop saying yes and you will start to say no? Huh?
Yes.
You will say yes? If you will say yes, you will not be free, Amayan, from them. You should say no. You should say no for their rules, for their laws. If you will keep saying yes, they will not give you your independence. You will not be free from them. And as we said, we want freedom. We want to be free. We want to be out of the cage. We don't want to be followers of the King of England, right? So we should start to say no. We should start to say we don't want you in our land, right? Right? Or you are not concentrating with me? Huh? Will we say yes or
I
no?
concentrate.
Okay, will we say yes or no?
No.
We will say no. We will say no.
No.
We will say no. Okay, thank you, MIN.
No.
Okay, and this is what the American or the colonists did. Look here, ya Malik. The uh, colonists, they started to go down in the streets and they started to act or to say no against the British rules, against the taxes, because they asked them to pay more money. Okay, taxes. This is what we call taxes. Okay, so they went down, okay, in the street, and they started to say no sugar act, no tea act, no stamp act. We don't want to pay more money. We don't want to follow your rules. Okay, so they started to show their anger. They started to encourage more people to go with them. We want independence. We want freedom. We don't want to follow your rules. This is what the colonists did. Okay, so they started to act against the British rules. They started to say no for the rules that's coming from the King of England. They start to say no because they want independence. So they act against the British rules. The British rules means the English rules that's coming from the King of England. Okay, and they start to go down everywhere to say no for everything. We will not pay more money. We want freedom. We want independence. Okay, so I want Layla. Layla. Layla.
Yes. Yes, Miss Angie.
Okay, Layla,
Yes.
can you tell me what did the colonists do? What did the colonists do?
The colonists said no sugar act, no tea act,
Yeah, so
no
they
no
started.
settlement act.
Yes, so they started to act against the British rules, right?
They
They
started
started.
act.
Yes, they started to act against everything that's coming from England, right? Layla, are you with me?
Miss?
Yes, Layla, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so we said they started to
Yeah.
act, yeah, they started to act against everything from England. They started to act against the British rules, against the taxes, against paying more money. Yes, because they want independence. They want,
They all say no, no, no.
yes, yes. What's
They,
the meaning of
they don't
independence?
want to follow their
The rules, yes. What's the meaning of independence, ya Layla?
uh
What's the meaning of independence? The colonists wanted
I don't
independence.
know.
Let me ask Lama. Lama, what is the meaning of independence?
Yes, ma'am.
What's the meaning of independence?
Independence.
Independence. The colonists wanted independence. What is the meaning of independence?
Colonists thought they want riches and gold.
No, 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 no. They want independence from England. What's the meaning of independence?
Colonists
They wanted
thought
independence,
to-
Yalama. What is the meaning of independence? Freedom. What's the meaning of independence?
freedom.
Freedom. Thank you. Adam Islam, what is the meaning of independence? Adam Islam, what's the meaning of independence?
Yes, yes.
What's the meaning of independence?
It independent means
Freedom. What's the meaning of independence?
means
Freedom. What's the meaning of independence?
means
I said it. Freedom. What's the meaning of independence?
freedom.
Freedom. Yes.
Freedom.
Grade 2. We said that the colonists wanted independence from England. They don't want the King of England to give them rules, right? So that's why they wanted independence. What's the meaning of independence? Independence means freedom. Freedom. They want to be free. They said no for everything. They said no for all the rules and all the taxes that they asked them for because they want independence. Independence means freedom. Independence means freedom. Okay. طيب. مالك المصري. Malik?
Yes.
We said that they wanted, independence.
Freedom.
Yes, they wanted freedom, right?
Yeah.
Type.
Yeah.
Because they wanted freedom, they said no for everything, right?
Yeah.
Type. Do you think that the King of England would agree to their request and to their independence? Would he say yes, okay, you will be free? No. You think that he will not agree to what will they ask for? He will not say yes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yani we said the colonists wanted independence. They started to say no for everything. When I asked Malik if he thinks that the King of England during that time would agree to what the colonists asked for, Malik told me no. Here what happened, that the King of England during that time, when he knows, of course, he knows everything that happened in North America. So what did he do? He ignored what happened and he started to send armies or soldiers to control the colonists. Yani he told them, or he told his armies, now I will start to send you to North America because there are many colonists there that they are making noise and I don't want too much noise. So I will send more armies or more soldiers, okay, to North America to control the colonists. to arrest the ones who are making noise, to arrest the ones who are in the streets, who are asking for independence, the ones who said no for everything. So this is what King George did during that time. Who was King George? King George was the king of England during that time, who was giving them rules. So what did King George do? He sent armies, he sent soldiers to North America to control the colonists, to control them, not to kill them, but to arrest the ones who are asking, or to catch the ones who were asking for independence, the ones who were asking for freedom. So this is what King George did. He sent armies to control the colonists. What was the name of the King of England during that time? King George. King George. So now I want to ask uh, Muaz. Muaz, what did King George do? What did King George do?
What? Miss?
What did King George do?
Miss, I don't hear you.
Muaz, can you hear me now?
Yes. Sorry.
What did King George do?
He do all they are set in North America. They get to him work, and they want independence.
Okay, so what did King George do with them?
Yeah, how?
What did he do? Did he say yes? Did he say that I agree to what you're asking for?
No.
So what did he do?
Say no.
What did he do? It's in front of you, Yamai.
Do
He sent armies. He
sent
armies to control the colonists.
armies
Yes,
to
he sent more soldiers like these
enemies.
armies. Yes, to control the colonists, to catch the ones who are saying no, to send them to jail, to put them in prison, because he doesn't want noise, right?
Don't understand. I don't understand the lesson.
Yeah, Muaz, we had colonists who lived in North America, right? Right? Colonists who were living in North America, right?
Yes.
These colonists who were living in North America, they had to follow the rules from the King of England. The King of England during that time was controlling them. He was giving them rules, he was asking them to pay more money, and he was the King of England. He was not the King of America during that time. Did you understand this part? Huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
But the colonists who were living in North America during that time, they didn't like the rules from the King of England. They didn't want the King of England to rule them. Like I'm telling you, you are an Egyptian, right? You are an Egyptian, right? Or yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, do you agree? Do you agree?
Right.
Do you agree to follow the rules from the President of America? Huh? Will you agree? How come? You are an Egyptian. You're an Egyptian. Will you agree to follow the rules from the President of America or the President of England?
No.
No. So, because you didn't agree, this is what the colonists did. The colonists didn't agree to follow the rules from the King of England, right?
Yes.
So they started to go down in the streets and they started to say, no, we want independence, we want freedom, we don't want the King of England to rule us, right?
Okay. Yeah, I
Okay,
understand now.
who was the King of England during that time? King George. King George. King George was the
King.
King of England during that time. When he heard that the American people or the colonists in America wanted independence and they wanted freedom, he didn't agree with what they
Miss,
asked for.
are you here?
Huh? He didn't say yes.
Miss, are you hear me?
Yes, ya Muaz,
You hear me?
yes, I can hear you, ya Muaz.
Okay.
Okay, the King of England, who was the King George, he didn't agree with what the colonists wanted. The colonists wanted independence, right? But King George, or the King of England during that time, no, he wanted to rule them because he wanted everything in North America for him and for Europe. So, what did King George do with the colonists? He started to send soldiers, he started to send armies to North America. Do you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand?
Yes.
It's very easy. It's like a story, but it's history, something that happened in the past, and you have to learn about it. Okay, grade 2. So we said that King George, who was the King of England during that time, he didn't agree with what the American people or the colonists wanted during that time. He said, no, you will not gain your independence. You will not be freedom. But what did he do? He started to send armies, he started to send soldiers to North America to catch the colonists who were making noise, the colonists who said no for King George, the colonists who will be sent to jail because they said no for the King of England. But grade 2, do you think that the colonists will keep quiet and they will stop asking for independence?
No.
Yes.
Do you
No.
think that they would be afraid of King George?
No.
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 So this is that we will learn about.
Of course.
Of course not. Yes, because خلاص, they insist on independence, they insist on freedom. You think that they will not be afraid of King George and his soldiers. So tomorrow, inshallah, we will know what did the colonists